singing, playing, and listening. That's a fiqh question, and just refer to the fuqaha on that one. Well, I mean, everybody, why do we keep asking these questions over and over again? I've heard this question seriously. I mean, and alhamdulillah, I mean, I've studied it, but I'm not going to waste my time answering the question. Seriously. We just ask these questions. Is riba halal? Can we buy a house on riba? Can we do this? Can we do that? I mean, seriously. Well, we have to stop reinventing the wheel. What are the modern problems which need ijtihad, but are there qualified Muslims to make intellectual exercise? There's a lot now. We're in an age with massive. We've got these people are cloning animals. They're literally they've got cats that they put DNA of leopards, so they get leopard spots. They're crossing, and they're unbelievable stuff they're doing. Mad people, completely insane. It's Frankenstein. It's mad scientists. Like this, I told this at a conference talking about science, and this man got up and said, I'm a nuclear physicist, and I take offense to physics is good and this and that. I said, what's good about it? You told me what good, you gave us the atom bomb? You know, I mean, seriously, you gave us the atom bomb, this wonderful, remarkable improvement on the quality of life for the people of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I'm sure they're very grateful for your great contribution to the 20th century. And what right do people have to go around smashing atoms? Who gave them the right to go around and smash atoms? Seriously. I mean, they don't even know what they're doing. They go and just smash an atom with their nuclear accelerators just to watch what happens. There's absolutely they just want to watch what happens. It's a type of madness. And they're deeply, if you meet a lot of these people, and I've met them, and not all of them, and there's good in physics, engineering, and things like that. Handasa is a fard kifaya. So learning physics, I'm not saying don't learn physics, but recognize that we have a different methodology and a philosophy of science. And you meet a lot of these people, and they can't even sit and talk with human beings. They'd rather talk to a computer. I know people that work in Silicon Valley, engineers, and they tell me that they've got all these engineers on these computers, and when you come in to tell them something, they say, send it on my email. They don't want to interact with a human being. They'd rather interact with a computer. You see, so everybody's going to end up having sex with computers and everything. That's what they're doing now. It's not a joke. They've got downloading all this pornography and things. SubhanAllah. But unfortunately, people aren't learning how to ijtihad and things like that. Do you think Saudi Arabia applies complete Sharia? Subhanallah. Do you see the Muslim preacher in the Muslim country who is thinking he is dealing with non-Muslims, emphasizing all the time Aqidah, but fail to interpret Islam in this modern world? Emphasis on Aqidah. First of all, Aqidah is dogma. I want to remind us, Aqidah is not Iman. Aqidah is dogma. The Muslims never emphasized Aqidah. What they emphasize was Iman. Aqidah is very simple. You can learn it in a few days with a good scholar. Sit down, there's mutun, you learn them. I have a matan that I learned in the deserts of Mauritania. It's literally 20 lines of poetry, and the whole of the dogma is there. And you can learn that. That's an emphasis on Aqidah is a sickness, it's a disease of the Muslim. We need to emphasize Iman, Tarbiyat al-Iman, Tazkiyat al-Nufus. Of all we sit around talking about, where is Allah? You don't even know where you are. Subhanallah. You talked about the secular, how these turn people upside down. What attracted you to become a Muslim? Alhamdulillah, Hidayah, I became Muslim when I was 17. I was very fortunate. I had a serious car accident, made me think about death and some other things. And alhamdulillah, Allah showed me Islam at the hands of some people that I thought had a good understanding, and I became Muslim. And then I decided to go study Islam because I wanted to find out for myself. I mean, part of the confusion of the age is people don't learn. They don't study anymore. You know, and the rihla was part of the Islamic legacy of literally leaving your home and going and finding out what Islam is from people. And I went and you know, alhamdulillah, there's Muhammad Makkawi I haven't seen in years. When we first met, I didn't know Arabic. I didn't know, is that true? When you first met me? And alhamdulillah, he knows some of the sheikhs I studied with. I went and studied with people that they have a good understanding of Islam, and that's what I wanted to get from them. You know, and that for me solved my confusions. You know, really. I mean, there's a lot of things that are bewildering, but alhamdulillah, Islam to me is very clear. I mean, the Quran is mubin. What mubin also means clear, clarifying. You know, it's clear and it's clarifying. You know, it makes things clear. So if you're confused, it's because you haven't really studied the deen. And you get it from the people who know it. Don't get it from people who don't know it or who are as confused as you are, or who memorized a few slogans. Was it not Ar-Razi who claimed that he only drank wine for medicine? There's many Razis. The Fakhruddin Ar-Razi that I quoted, definitely not Ar-Razi or Al-Farabi, great followers of Aristotelian thought. Razi is from a city in Persia called Rai, and there are many scholars named Razi, and there was a Razi who was an Aristotelian, but that is not Fakhruddin Ar-Razi who I was mentioning. How should we pay for goods? Cash only. The best thing is to use cash, and even this cash, be aware that it's also bank notes that are interest-bearing bonds. And the only reason they can print that paper is because they've been given permission by the banks. And they're based on selling bonds and these type of things. So even the cash is usury. I mean, we're all covered in the dust of it, folks. What is your opinion on the end of the Roman Empire in relation to the rise of the church and the eventual rise of materialism? Well, the rise of the church in the Roman Empire is very interesting, because I think that we're in the same type of situation, and it's literally, they are in the same serious decline of the Roman Empire, and Islam should play the role that Christianity played in the first revivification of the European society. Because Christianity, despite what we say about it, there are positive effects of it on these societies. I mean, even they recognized that the atrocities that they did were committed against religion, not, you know, even though it was in the name of religion. Now, the Muslims never did these things because our book teaches us literally to tolerate other religions, and they don't have that, right? So, but, you know, there were positive effects. I mean, they did worship God in their own way, and now's the time for Islam, because Christianity is an unscientific religion. It really is not in harmony with the age at all. Islam, according to Octavio Paz, who is a Nobel Prize winner from Mexico, he said that we are literally on the brink of destruction. The only thing that will save us is a reunification of religion and science. And he said, and the only religion in the history of human society that has succeeded in doing that is Islam. That's what he said. That's their Nobel Prize winner. And that's, but if we're not there to let them know what it is, you know. What is your comment on some Islamic organizations going through kufr parliamentary system? As I understand that to go through this system is haram. Could you please enlighten me on this? I don't really know about it. Like they might be referring to this thing called the Parliament of Islam or Muslims. I don't know. I've just heard it. I have nothing about it. The actual systems in Islam, government systems, it's rather open-based. There is a type of legislation that takes place in Islam based on maslahah. It's what Imam Malik radiallahu anhu in his usul called maslahah al-mursala, like traffic laws. That's part of Sharia. Traffic laws, literally, based on this idea of maslahah al-mursala, and to disobey traffic laws is actually considered by the ulama as a type of wrong action, because the maslahah, the reason for the traffic laws, is to maintain safety of the people driving. So if you abuse those laws, you endanger yourself and others, which is haram. So this is the type of qiyas that's used. And there's Muslims, they don't, you know, they just run red lights and don't, don't care. And takbir, Allahu Akbar, kufr laws, right? What is your